I want to react to the uh, the great comeback of the school mass shootings under Biden's presidency. I don't really care to pick on anybody in particular, but I can't help but notice how we were a lot better off under the previous administration. And I think that that has a lot to do with leadership style. Obviously, there's some honesty issues in this current administration, and there are forces at play when evil can um, thrive. And fortunately, under the previous administration, evil was a little bit deterred, a lot more deterred than in this current administration. But so be it. Again, only in America we have to put up with it and be civil, level-headed people that um, won't compromise our system, but that will work to repair it when it's been broken. So that's, I think, where a lot of people stand at this point. I do want to say that I think I feel unworthy to mention anybody. Like, I would rather just like offer like, like a day of fasting or like a moment of like a long silence for the beautiful children that are now with God, that were ushered to heaven by angels, obviously. I do want to say how unfair to, to drag these people into even more pain, using people as your poster child to accomplish your sorry agenda is disgusting to say. I mean, it's wrong. It's wrong. What is wrong with these people? Honestly, I don't know, and I'm not a shrink. And if I was, I would just automatically like 50-50 won them. Like, sorry, you need to like repair your own head on that one there. So nobody's your poster child, or whatever the code is. Anyhow, I wrote something because I know sometimes I'm starting to go off on tangents because um, I think a lot of my like mental wiretapping, I'd like to, this morning I'm thinking like, okay, I know people get it, they're like, I'm not the only one with ESP here. I'm a very courteous and respectful person. I'm I don't like harming people. I don't like harming myself. I don't let anybody harm me, and I don't harm anybody. Like, that's just that simple. So I just wanted to read something because I feel that being prepared is being prepared. Being prepared is not offering word salads when you speak. It's not being emotionally charged and kind of like all of a sudden I get like sparked, and I'm thinking like, okay, like that's not conducive to anything that is gonna get me very far. So anyhow, so I'm gonna read what I wrote. Thank you all for your attention in advance. Okay. So the Democrats currently in power, having raced to the top, achieve their goals of power over the rest of us for the sake of power, not because they're particularly the best at what they do. In fact, they have no talent. They hide behind ambiguity as a way to cast doubt about their true ability because they make everyone wonder if being as ridiculous as they are is even possible. Their solution to every problem is to destroy the US Constitution, the very fabric that has rendered them all of their fortune. They don't want us to have guts, guns, or glory. The sprout to blossom kids, and then this is where I go off. Like, I'll throw out a little like a solution here. The Sprout to Blossom Kids Initiative. So it's the Sprout to Blossom Kids Initiative. Um, it's all together, Sprout to Blossom Kids. And it's an initiative that has at its core an educative aim, namely in critical thinking and applying that knowledge to voting smartly. Kids will learn how to identify politicians that strive to seduce them away from their parents, seduce them to preferring the leisurely life and make them feel entitled over others, even when it's clearly not in their best interest, like what we saw in the 2020 riots by people that were instigating the riots. I mean, they were riots, really. They weren't really, like, I mean, protesting. Okay, did you accomplish anything? No, but the BLM president is now richer for it. Okay, yeah, good job, guys. um so all the while, these same destructive perpetrators aim to strip us all of courage to speak out. That's when it's against them, obviously. Courage to protect ourselves, and courage to keep a fervent faith in God, our Almighty Creator. We're only encouraged to speak when we're playing the part of victims and or otherwise being self-destructive. As victims, we're helpless and defenseless, and we should consider ourselves as subhuman base animals that live only to hail the career politicians. To such perpetrators, we don't have a special calling that's unique to our individual capacities. We're told by them, the truly less qualified, when and if we've reached our potential. They set people back. In other words, they create like these little somehow, like, they're evil rooms, and they just create like a pressure pot that just like snaps, and people are gonna do crazy things. And so the solution is to have this some kind of initiative. So again, I'm going to go over a little bit more meat to what I'm envisioning as what we need to do as a civilization, as the United States of America. So the Sprout to Blossom Kids initiative would require the school tier infrastructure under God as follows. So this is like a school tier. So picture like big government infrastructure with institutions and pork funded employees and jobs that really don't accomplish much. So no offense anybody, seriously, like, I don't want to um I would rather not, but somebody has to. Okay, so the Sprout to Blossom Kids initiative would require the school tier infrastructure under God as follows: security, parents, therapists, teachers, intelligence officers, corrections officers. I mean, is this such a crazy idea? Because I think it's crazy to think that you can abolish guns, or oil. Like these people are just being belligerent, like the AOCs and Kamala Harris's and whomever else like falls under their little umbrella of thinking. Um, so again, the emphasis of this team of professionals is to empower kids through education and tending to their special attention needs. The result is that our kids get instilled sympathy and or empathy through the day they flourish into well-adjusted young adults that are ready to make their impact on the next generation. So that it means a little bit more tight-knit or more local communities. Hey, you know what? Actually, that's a huge difference between the previous administration and this one, is that it was more about local governments and having that good faith in local leaders to make the right decisions for their community, knowing more about what's going on, about what the scene is like, and just as a matter of respect, as a matter of respect for for people. You're not high and mighty. We have a high and mighty creator. Um, so this, of course, like these, professionals are not necessarily um, out for like the glamorous, like big government lifestyle. They're more like the small community, very communitarian grassroots type of very caring and loving people. I think people crave that. They would love that, and it's rewarding, and people grow up thinking that. I mean, we grow, and it's so unfair because we can't pass on to our children now what we grew up with, because we're being blocked by who's blocking us from that. People that don't are dividing us, people that poss- have to have their own hidden agenda about something, about their own, y- you know, guts, guns, and glory that leaves the rest of us out. We all want a piece of that feeling of being empowered. So guts can't. I'm sorry. Guns can't be abolished either. Guns can't be abolished. It's childish and belligerent to insist on this. While the U.S. arms other countries with heavy artillery, including those in our own backyard, what makes us think that those weapons won't find their way back here? Shrinking the community to the school tier creates jobs for God fearing America First citizens, those who pride themselves in making their small contribution. Small as it is, it goes such a long way when people aren't shut out of their impact on the rest of the world. And that's what's happening. We're being shut out by people that are basically have to resort to that to stay ahead and be ahead for the sake of being ahead and staying ahead. Our kids learn by example how to give back in the future, and they learn to vote for people that did something about their well-being, their human development, and that respected them and their rights and safety. So I don't understand why we can't just have these kinds of basic, down to earth solutions. Why does it have to be like out in space somewhere? I mean, people are gonna want to go in that direction on their own, and they're gonna want to, and us as a person that is ushering them through life and helping them develop themselves and meet their full potential will recognize that. That's the whole point of having a smaller community. And this is why I would really rather think more, um, go more for a Republican than a Democrat of these days. I think Democrats of these days are trashy. It's like, stop, you're just kind of like playing a part. You're not, like, there's no substance to you. And it sucks because, you think, I mean, you might think, oh no, this is too much money. Well, we're sending all this money to Ukraine now for a war that isn't ours. We spend so much taxpayer money on indulging like dirty Democrat politicians in their fake investigations, but we can't offer that same indulgence to kids, the people that really need it. I mean, I'm sorry, but you're adults. Act like adults. Free up that taxpayer money to actually create these jobs at the grassroots level that can babysit kids. Who cares? They're kids. They need us. Okay, so forget all of the AOCs and Nancy Pelosi's and everybody else that wants to create all these fake investigations and have some sort of hidden agenda for themselves. Like they're just like these little belligerent kids. You're not kids anymore. Okay, you're adults. You got nowhere. Sorry. Nobody has to be sorry for you. People should be there for kids. Okay. And that's where this argument has to end is you can't get rid of guns. What you can do is deter people and encourage people to be kind and to use a weapon wisely, to not use a car to go crash it into a group of people, because there's more. That I understand that guns are a whole other situation, because there's also the fact that it's you know um the the fact that it's a instant gratification kind of thing, like that's like a whole other layer of mental disease. I'm guessing a lot of times people, if they had to actually use their mind to plot against other people using something that would require effort, then okay, I get it. Like guns might be a little different. Doesn't matter. I mean, it matters because obviously is we won't know when people have guns all the time. And what we will know is that we did everything we can. And I guess the last thing I want to say on that is by agreeing that people have the right to carry guns because nobody knows their life better than they do. And I can only pray that only the people that try to hurt them will be the ones that end up hurt. Um, I I open myself up to that risk. I open myself up to the risk that maybe one day I'll be a casualty too, and I'm fine with that. I will be some random statistic, and I'll just be an innocent bystander like everybody else. But it's just not okay. I see a much more gloomier, darker path by letting dirty politicians tell us when and if we should be able to protect ourselves. And that's just the truth. People don't see it now, but it's headed there. And so I would rather I'd rather take this risk than the risk of allowing people with an incentive to to keep us all divided and against each other and hating one and doubting one another and not being kind to one another, using one another. It's wrong. So no, I have to trust people that use guns, and if I'm again a casualty, then so be it. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Hopefully everybody, if there's, thank you for listening again. Very happy to have your attention. Um, Hopefully, I did open up the channels to to communication and debate on this topic. I'm willing to defend my position. So, thank you.